So many years ago, I wrote a very short story and I wanted to read it. And if you would like to give me some feedback, it's gonna be a part of something bigger that I'm trying to write. But here it is, and then we can comment on it a little bit. A few years ago, my brother and I were lying on a beach in Sardinia, catching up on each other's lives. Suddenly, we hear a kid crying hysterically as his mother shouts at him, Edo! That was his name. It's an Italian name for Edoardo. Edo! Edo! Why do you insist on playing here by this beach umbrella? Why do you have to be different from all the other children? They're all playing together by the sea. But no, you are a naughty boy and you insist on being different. And now you're gonna stay there by yourself. She marches towards the sea and picks up her baby daughter on the way. The boy, who must have been around 4 or 5, is still crying uncontrollably while holding on to a sunbed. Oh, yeah, a sunbed with both hands, and he's shaking. It's like his nervous system has gone haywire. My brother and I exchange glances, and the next thing I know, I'm walking towards the little boy. Not because I think I can help him, but because in that moment it feels like it's me over there, crying by the beach umbrella. I sit next to him while he's still standing there, and without particularly meeting his gaze, I silently place my hand on one of his little hands, just to hold him in some way, while he's shaking from what seems like excruciating emotional pain. Meanwhile, my brother has joined me and is also sitting on the sand, his hand now on the boy's other little hand. We don't introduce ourselves. Kids don't seem to care about the story of who you are anyway. And we don't ask if we can sit there. We don't try to distract him or ask him why he's crying. We don't try to stop him from screaming, from feeling what he's feeling. We just sit there, two beings on a beach, unconcerned with any particular outcome, just being there in the most intelligent way we knew how, in silence. Slowly the boy's shaking stops, and so does his crying, as the sun conveniently dries the tears from his cheeks, because his hands are taken. For the next half hour, we just stay there, the three of us, in silence, out of time. What was mind-blowing was that this kid did not freak out about the fact that two complete strangers were holding his hands. He did not have the impulse to run away, because in that moment, he was not a 4-year-old kid, and we were not 30-something adults. The roles had disappeared. This was life, delighting in its recognition. This was the melting away of imagined separation, leaving only what cannot possibly ever melt: love. It seemed like speaking would have broken the spell, so nobody dared say a word. Only my brother at one point whispered to him, "Look, it's my sister's turn to cry now," as tears quietly streamed down my face. The kid looked up at me, as if to check if it was true, gave me a half smile, and looked down again, not wanting to disturb the intimacy of that moment. It was the sweetest meditation I had ever experienced. So what happened at the end was that I must have said something, and the kid remembered who his identity was, that he was a little boy at the beach, and in that remembering, he ran away. And went back to being a 4-year-old. And my brother and I were stunned. We're still stunned to this day when we tell the story. I sometimes tell this story at my satsangs. And what was incredible was that the next day, and I'm going to try not to cry, the next day we went to the same beach and the kid was there again. And the mother said, "Look, Edo, your friends are there." Because somehow the mother must have seen what had happened the day before from a distance. And a few minutes later, the little boy came up to me. I was lying on a sunbed, and he just stood there right next to where I was lying and didn't say a word. And what he seemed to be trying to do was to evoke that moment of the day before, that silence, that presence, that freedom. And my brother was shocked, so was I, and it was just it is a beautiful story of presence and of the healing power of presence and of the recognition when we recognize ourselves as this presence. And sometimes my brother and I wonder where he is now. He's about 17, 18 years old, and we wonder if he remembers those two weirdos on the beach many years ago that he spent some time with, some timeless time with. Hope you enjoyed this story.